Good morning, CEO Toddy. My name is Brian Carson. I'm with the Business Analytics Department of the company. Today, we're going to be talking about the attrition rate within the company and more specifically, what we can do to improve retention among our employees. So what you have here in front of you is a dashboard. It basically, we've taken many data points and we've input them into this dashboard, and we're looking for some insight onto what we can do to reduce the attrition rate. So I break down several different parameters. I'll get right into it. The first one we're looking at is income versus attrition. When it comes to the attrition rate and people leaving, obviously people that leaving are making quite a bit less money than those that stay at the company. This is intuitive, so to speak, but I think it'd be a great talking point to have with our current employees. The fact that the longer they stay with the company, the more money they're likely to make and be more financially successful. I mean, we have hard data here showing the difference. You're looking at $4,700 per week salary for the average person that has left, and if those that have stayed around, average salaries are about $6,800. So that's quite a gap in those that have left and those that have stayed. So I think this could be an excellent talking point going forward to share with our employees. The next thing we looked at here was travel versus job satisfaction. This was something that was sort of counterintuitive because my thought going in was that the more somebody traveled, probably the less job satisfaction they had. But when we actually broke this down between non-travel employees, they had a job satisfaction rate of 2.9. Those that traveled frequently, 2.8. And those that traveled infrequently, 2.7. So really, overall job satisfaction was not impacted by somebody's job position requiring them to travel. So I thought this was very interesting. Moving on, we have a chart here showing the manager relationship compared to the overall satisfaction survey of the employee. We've compared those two against each other, and what we're looking for is a ratio of close to 1, showing that these two satisfaction surveys line up: the relationship with the manager versus the overall job satisfaction. And both those that have left the company and those that have stayed, we're seeing close to a one ratio on that, which is what we want to see, showing us that overall relationship with the manager does not really impact overall job satisfaction. 2.7 to 2.6 versus those that have left, versus those that have stayed. So that was an interesting statistic. On that same note, what we thought would impact it more, this overall manager relationship status, the one that impacted it much more was the years with the current manager. What we have in this graphic here is showing those that have left have an average time with their current manager of 2.9 years, as opposed to the employees that are still here have an average time of 4.4. This shows us that the longer somebody stays with the same manager, the more likely they are to stay. I also included the income, the weekly salary as well, to be able to explain again the difference in income for those that have stayed with the manager longer. So this would be something that we really want to promote within the company, the fact of trying to keep teams together, because teams tend to, once they have the initial meeting and build and work and create a relationship together, the longer you're with those same people, the more likely the employee is to stay. Another interesting statistic that we looked at was how far somebody lived from the office. Those that have left averaged over 10 miles, 10.6 miles. They live from the office, whereas those that have stayed were 8.9. It doesn't seem like a lot, but an extra 2 miles, depending on traffic and the way it is around the city, can be a lot of time away from home, away from work. If you're in your car, you're not at work or home. So this tends to lead to a lower job satisfaction, and ultimately it's caused people to possibly move on from the company. So this would be something that we want to promote. Try to locate our offices closer to neighborhoods, and then the offices that are established promote people to live as close as possible as they can to reduce commute times. Another interesting thought here would be to promote more virtual type sessions to keep people off the road and at home. And so if we could incorporate working from home, that could help with the attrition as well. We also looked at age versus those that have left and those that have stayed. Those that have left, obviously it's going to be a younger age, 34, as those that have stayed. The average age is 38. That's wasn't something statistically important. We felt would help the attrition rate, but it was just interesting to look at. Another one we looked at was marital status. Obviously, we're not going to use marital status in our hiring processes, but it does lend us to believe that we should be supporting just a family type environment. When you break down divorced, the statistic this impacted most was people that had left. So people that had left that were divorced, their average time here was between 3 and 4 years. Those that are single, less than 4.5 years. But those that are married, it jumps up to over 6 years. So what that tells us is even though these people are leaving, they're staying at the company longer when they're married. Once again, this can't be used as a reason to hire somebody, but it can give us a reason to promote a family type environment within the company. We need to be really supportive of teams, keeping teams together, and then keeping families together is what this dashboard's telling us. So again, main takeaways, talking points going to the employees. I think we really need to promote the fact of the longer you stay, the more money you're going to make with the company. And overall in your career. I mean, this is a big disparity here between the 6,800 and the 4,700. Business travel actually has no impact on job satisfaction or the attrition rate, we feel. Manager relationship versus satisfaction was really not impactful as well, which we thought would be. But when you go over to years with manager, that was huge. There's a big disparity there between those that have left and those that have stayed. So we really want to promote teamwork within the company. We want to try to keep teams together. We feel not only with the manager, but working with the same team is going to reduce that attrition rate. And then really promoting a family lifestyle, being maybe incorporating more family events where people can bring their spouses, Christmas parties, spring parties, things like that, social events to get the family involved so they really know what's going on. And in the same line of that is trying to keep people as close to their house as possible, up to the point of even trying to incorporate more Zoom meetings or things like that keep people off the road and driving, because this statistic is telling us that closer people are to the office, more likely they are to stay. And we should do our best to keep them off the road. So you put all that together, and this creates some great talking points to go to get with HR to discuss with our people. We hope this dashboard is helpful and useful. I'll pass this on to you, and you can feel free to use it and manipulate it as you want. And we appreciate your time today. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.